Hello, welcome to my market minute. According to me, this is my view of what's been happening in real estate in the last month. And October was a great month. I had two sellers who closed on their properties and moved out of state. And then I also had first-time home buyers buy their first home. And I love that. It's so exciting. And from the day we met to when they shared with me, they were like, we're not sure if we can actually afford a home, to the day that we closed, it was 34 days. So it is possible. You just got to start the conversation. And if you don't know how to start the conversation or what to say, share that. Like, here's my wish. Here's where I want to be. I have no idea where to start, and I can jump in and tell you, and we can map it out based on your situation, but you never know until you ask. And I'm so excited for my clients that they asked and they raised their hand and said, hey, this is what we want. We're not sure if it's possible. We sat down and looked. Lenders ran the numbers, said, hey, it's possible. And off we went, found their home. And 34 days later, they were homeowners. So I absolutely love that when you raise your hand, ask the questions. Interest rates, they were lowered in October, just a bit. And then, so that happened on October 18th, interest rates were lowered. And then like October 19th, mortgage rates went up. Not a ton, but they've started creeping back up. And the weeks leading up to the anticipated Fed meeting is when we saw our lowest rates of the year for mortgages. And so why didn't that continue after the Feds dropped the interest rate? Well, remember last month I told you that mortgage rates are living, breathing. They anticipate what's happening in the market ahead of that Fed meeting. So mortgage rates respond in real time. And the markets were already adjusting to the anticipated rate drop that was going to be happening at the Fed meeting. And then after the meeting, the market responds, and the market responds to the Fed chairman's comments about the health of the economy, about what they expect for the next Fed meeting. And so that is what the market responds to. Throw in a government shutdown, and the interest rate or mortgage rates have gone up just a bit. It responds to things that are happening currently and not just that interest rate, if that makes sense. So our rates on average, we were seeing around 6.1%. I had some clients with that rate buy down lock in at 5.75, which was fantastic. But on average, we were seeing about 6.1%. Then after the Fed meeting, I saw them jump up to 6.37%. And then just the other day, I was looking at the latest numbers and it was 6.2%. Now remember, because of the shutdown, we're not getting all of our economic data in. And so there's a lot of pieces that are missing, and that rate is based off of, the information that we do have. So we've got another Fed meeting coming up before the end of the year. So I always like to say to people, if you want to buy a home, it's actually the best time to lock in your rate is before that Fed meeting. Don't wait for the interest rate to drop in hopes that mortgage rates are going to drop even more, because they're not on the same scale. Let's see. What else am I seeing in the market? Well, I have a new home that was just listed in Kuna. I've got another one coming up in Boise. I have buyers under contract in Eagle. I've got more first-time home buyers that are looking. And I share this not to brag, but because headlines can be scary, news feeds can be absolutely terrifying. And so I want you to know that there is activity happening. In my business personally, the fourth quarter is always my busiest time of the year. And this year is no different, even with the certain things that we are seeing. Obviously, a government shutdown, big things happening. Tariffs were brought into the play in April, all of that. So people move based on life events, and they do not move on market conditions. Now, yes, we have certain people that are moving on market conditions, but the majority of people are moving on those life events. So I've got another client that's wanting to sell his home. He wants to move and retire, but he doesn't have to sell this week. So we created a strategy that was best for him, and he has decided that he wants to list his home after the holidays. He doesn't want to take the chance that his days on market might be a higher number than needed because of the holidays. Now, I don't want to scare you off. The holidays are not a bad time to buy and sell, but they are a natural slowdown. There are some people that pause searching for a home during the holidays. Some people take their house off the market during the holidays. Others just push right through. But there is just a natural slowdown because it is the busiest time of the year. So he didn't want to take the chance of having a higher days on market. So for him, it worked best. We're going to list after the new year. I've got another seller though that, she was talking about her neighborhood and conversations that she's had with neighbors of people like, oh my gosh, I would love to have my parents be in this neighborhood with us. And she thought, you know what, I want to put my house on the market and then hopefully the buyer is in town visiting family over the holidays. They're able to come by, take a look at my house. And she feels like that is the demographic that is most appealing. And that does happen. I sold the house last Christmas based on just that. Someone had family in town. They wanted to see the house. It was like, hey, let's go take a look. So there's different strategies for different things. And there is no perfect formula. There's no perfect plan, but there is a perfect strategy that's right for you and your family. And so you just got to share. What is it? What is it that's going to work for you? Where do you want to get to? Again, raise your hand, ask the questions. I don't even know where to start, but this is where I want to go. Is it possible? What does the timeline look? All of those things, because then it's a devised plan that's right for you and your family, and we can make it your own. So happy Thanksgiving. I hope you stuff yourself silly. I hope you gorge yourself on a ton of football. And I also hope that you just relax with family and friends and really enjoy this time of the year. So happy Thanksgiving.